Good morning and welcome back to the Dallas Cowboys fans. There's a lot to break down today regarding Micah Parsons, a potential reunion with Stephon Gilmore, and the strange situation surrounding Trevon Diggs. There's no shortage of drama surrounding the Cowboys this time of year, and as training camp continues, the storylines are only growing more intense and more unpredictable. Before diving into all that, quick reminder: the Micah Parsons prediction pool is still live. You pick the exact date he either signs his extension or, in some shocking twist, gets traded. Most people are already out because they chose July, so if you haven't yet, you still have a shot to win the pot. Just Venmo me at whatgoingdowny5. We're doing a 50/50 split to the winner, and the prize pool has already crossed the $20 mark. You can check the leaderboard and remaining entries at chatsports.com/Micah. Again, Venmo is at whatgoingdowny. Now, let's get into the real talk. Starting with Micah Parsons, the situation continues to drag on, and frankly, we're all tired of it. There's still no resolution in sight, and things remain at a complete standstill. NFL insider Albert Breer recently chimed in with what many consider a reasonable prediction. He believes the Parsons contract drama will follow a similar pattern to what we saw with CeeDee Lamb last year and Dak Prescott before that, or even Zach Martin. That is, no noise for months, then a deal gets rushed across the finish line right before the season begins. Breer also added that he doesn't believe Parsons will be traded. That sentiment is shared across most of the league. People may entertain the possibility of a trade just because of how weird this saga has gotten, but deep down, everyone expects Dallas to do the obvious thing and get a deal done at the 11th hour. Still, the fact that this is even being discussed is a problem in itself. We're talking about one of the league's elite defenders. When you have a player like Micah Parsons, a guy who is game-changing every single snap he plays, you don't play around. You just pay him. And yet, here we are, early August, and the Cowboys still haven't handled business. What makes this so frustrating is how familiar it feels. Once again, we're watching the front office drag its feet with one of their most important players. And let's address the nonsense for a second. The idea that Micah is being unreasonable or that both sides need to come together, or even worse, the suggestion from the Jones family that other guys need to get paid too, that's just spin. It's deflection. Parsons has clearly made his stance known. He's not holding out just to stir things up. He wants his deal, and frankly, he's earned it. The delay is coming from the Cowboys' side, and yet somehow they keep spinning the narrative in a way that makes it seem mutual. Some people out there, media members, even some content creators, have bought into this misdirection. But it's not hard to see what's really going on if you're paying attention. The Cowboys could fix this easily. Jerry Jones just needs to pick up the phone, call Micah, say, "Let's get this over with," and authorize his team to get the deal done. The agent will ask for everything: guarantees, structure, incentives, and in the end, the Cowboys will cave, just like they always do. Micah gets paid, everyone smiles, and then Dallas cries poor again next offseason. Sound familiar? That's because it's the same playbook, year after year. Yes, I still believe they'll eventually pay him, but let's not pretend the process has been okay. The way this has unfolded has been terrible. You can believe he'll get his money and still admit the Cowboys completely mishandled the situation. Just because the final result might be acceptable doesn't mean the path to get there was acceptable too. Now, shifting focus to the current state of the cornerback room, things are spiraling there as well. Injuries have hit hard, and there's real concern that Dallas may not be ready at that position come week 1. Which brings us to the conversation about bringing back Stephon Gilmore. Right now, 6 cornerbacks are dealing with injuries. That's not a typo 6. Trevon Diggs is still rehabbing. Josh Butler, who just had a child, congrats to him, is out for the start of the season. Nahshon Wright and Eric Scott are banged up. Simeon Revel might not be ready until a month into the season. Andrew Booth has a hamstring issue. Kalen Carson might not be ready for week 1 either. And then you've got Christian Matthew, who is never more than a camp body, also hurt. So who's healthy? You've got Darren Bland, Khair Elam, and a bunch of question marks. Israel Mukwamu, C. J. Goodwin, and some players off the street like Kevin Hall and Troy Pride are now looking like your backups, or worse, your starters if things don't improve. That's not a serious group. It's not sustainable if Dallas wants to contend. This is why the idea of signing Stephon Gilmore makes so much sense. Yes, he's 34, turning 35 next month, and his best days are behind him. But he still played at a high level last season, and he can give you competent starting caliber reps while you wait for Diggs and others to heal. It's a smart insurance move. He knows the system. He knows the locker room. He even visited the Star again recently, which tells you the mutual interest is still there. Of course, the price will matter. If Gilmore wants top dollar or a guarantee to start no matter what, it gets tricky. The Cowboys have to manage the possibility that by week 5, everyone is healthy and Gilmore becomes the 4th option. But even then, so what? Injuries happen. You need depth, and you don't want to find yourself starting someone you signed 2 weeks before the season. That's how you lose big games early. Timing also matters here. Gilmore signed around this time last year. He could be waiting for the right opportunity, a contender that needs help, and gives him a chance to win. The Cowboys checked that box. They may not be perfect, but they're close enough to real contention that someone like Gilmore would take the call. And frankly, they should be the ones making that call. Let's now talk about the weirdest part of all of this Trevon Diggs. The situation with him has been confusing from the start. He chose to rehab away from the team during Ota's and minicamp, and it's clear the Cowboys weren't happy about that. Since then, they've gone out of their way to take little shots at Diggs in the media. It feels like DJ Vu, almost identical to what we saw with Amari Cooper when the relationship between player and team quietly broke down. Despite all that, here's the wild part. Diggs actually looks ahead of schedule. If you watch his rehab work, he's moving well. He looks explosive. He doesn't look like a guy who's months away from playing. He's definitely ahead of Simeon Revel, who had a similar injury. It almost feels like the Cowboys don't want to admit how far along Diggs really is. Think about it. If Diggs comes back significantly earlier than expected, after rehabbing away from the team, it kind of proves he made the right call. That makes the team look bad. And if there's one thing we've seen from this front office, it's that they don't like looking bad. So now we're in this bizarre place where maybe Diggs is almost ready, but the team is downplaying it either out of spite or just ego. I wouldn't be shocked if one day, out of nowhere, the Cowboys just announce, Diggs is cleared. He's back. No warning. No build-up. Just suddenly available. That would not surprise me at all. And let's be real, the cornerback room needs him. The team isn't deep enough to survive without one of its best defenders. It's also becoming increasingly likely that Diggs won't be on this team in 2026. There's too much tension, too much friction. The writing feels like it's already on the wall, but for now, if he's healthy and able to play week 1, play him. This team needs every capable player it can get, and Diggs is still a top-tier corner. So whether it's Parsons, Gilmore, or Diggs, The common theme is that the Cowboys are flirting with unnecessary risk. These are players who can swing your season. How the team handles these situations in the next few weeks could determine how high the ceiling really is in 2025. We'll keep watching. We'll keep talking. But one thing's for sure, the Cowboys never make it easy.